When we talk about mental health, we encompass our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. We all have mental health, just like we have physical health. It fluctuates along a spectrum from good to poor, and throughout our lives it can shift. Sometimes it's great, other times we might really struggle depending on what's going on around us. Good mental health allows us to flourish and live a fulfilling life. It helps us cope with life's stresses, work productively, build and maintain good relationships, and make meaningful contributions to our community. But mental health problems are more common than we might think, as 1 in 4 people in any given year are affected by them. Our mental health is complex and can be affected by lots of things. That means we should not think in black and white terms. People aren't just born with it or simply have it or not. Social, biological, and psychological factors can all contribute to our mental health. Social aspects can be a number of things, including our environment, culture, upbringing, and our support network. Biological factors that can influence our mental health include our genetics, our brain chemistry, and use of substances. Psychological factors include our personality, the beliefs we hold about ourselves, the world, and others, and our way of thinking. Our mental health is incredibly complex, and vulnerabilities in either our biology, psychology, or social environment doesn't always mean you will develop a mental health condition. For example, you may have biological vulnerabilities from having a family history of poor mental health, but if you have a strong and supportive social environment and psychological resilience, your risk for experiencing a mental health problem decreases. On the other hand, a vulnerability to stress, coupled with traumatic experiences and a lack of social support, could increase this risk. Work can both positively and negatively influence our mental health. Work is good for our mental health because it gives us a sense of purpose, structure, and routine. There is a common misconception that if someone has a mental health condition, they're better off not working. Actually, in many cases, it's the opposite. For many of us, work can be a source of social interaction and support, particularly if we don't have as many social relationships in our personal lives. On the other hand, mental health problems can be caused by work factors like poor line management, unmanageable demands, and non-traditional working patterns like shift work. Work-related stress is commonly associated with an imbalance of demands such as workload and the resources we have to manage them. Another cause of work-related stress is known as emotional labour, which is characterised by a conflict between the emotions we feel and the emotions we display. Some roles, such as customer service or caring professions, require people to maintain a certain persona, which might not truly reflect how someone is actually feeling. This puts additional strain on our mental resources and can make the risk of burnout higher. When we speak about mental health, we also need to consider cultural differences. Multicultural organisations and teams can mean differences in both language and attitudes related to mental health, which can increase the risk of miscommunication or conflicts. Open communication about mental well-being with your line manager or colleagues can be a helpful mechanism for alleviating pressures and promoting authenticity. Even though it can be daunting to disclose worries or difficulties at work, every employer has a role in supporting mental health by making reasonable adjustments where possible, providing sufficient resources to enable someone to meet the demands of their work, offering flexibility, and advocating further support. If you don't feel comfortable speaking to your line manager, you could also reach out to your HR or wellbeing team, or ask a colleague for their advice. In the next module, we'll explore common mental health conditions.